Moving on to the co-main event, you've got Holm and Raquel Pennington fighting in a rematch. I believe Raquel Pennington was the first woman that Holm fought when she entered the UFC. And since then, their careers have kind of... Holly obviously went on and beat Ronda Rousey, right? But since she beat Ronda, she's like 2-5. Losses, I mean, don't get me wrong, her losses are legit losses. Like Duran to me, Chris Cyborg, Amanda Nunes, Valentina Shevchenko. I can't remember the other one off the top of my head. And she picked up like a win over Betch Kohea, right? But I think Holly has probably one of the more diverse striking skill sets in the women's bantamweight division in the UFC. But sometimes I think she gets afraid to pull the trigger, and she kind of gets... I kind of think Holly's detriment is that she's a very cerebral fighter. And as a result, she's always like looking for openings, and she's waiting for the perfect opportunity, and sometimes fighting is more about creating that opportunity, and I don't think she does that enough. Sometimes she'll get caught up in throwing the same combinations throughout the fight and just getting a little bit predictable. I think Holly Holm is one of those fighters who, like, obviously when she fought Ronda, you got to see I think that was a major mismatch on the feet, but you got to see more of like what she's capable of when she's confident and when she's really getting into a rhythm. But for me, at a Holly Holm, I like to see more volume. There's this weird thing where, like, I bet if you watch Holly Holm train, like if you went into like a training session and could be a fly on the wall at Jackson Wink when she's going through everything, I bet she looks like a goddamn world beater. I would bet money on it. You know that her skills are all there. She keeps herself in incredible shape. She's very long for the weight class, but she's one of those girls who just goes in there, and I think she thinks too much when she fights. And it's weird because, like, fighting is definitely a thinking man's game, right? But it can also hurt you if you're sometimes you just got to react, man. It's a lot of, like, when you watch Israel Adesanya go out and fight, like, you can tell that he's sizing guys up, but he's also just flowing and letting things come to him, right? Like, letting it come in and pour back out. Like, he's just reacting. And I think you see Holly think too much. And oddly enough, throughout Raquel Pennington's career, I think you've seen her do the same thing. I don't think she's ever really had confidence in her striking. And I bet kind of the same scenario. I bet if you go watch her train in Colorado here, I bet she looks incredible. But like some people, when they get in the octagon, for whatever reason, I don't know it's got to be like the pressure and the lights and just the everything and the fact that you were in a fucking fight. Like, you're not in the gym, you're fighting. And to me, the winner of this fight is it'll be whoever's letting it fly. And my hope is, honestly, that both girls do that and that we get a really entertaining fight, because if you watch Raquel Pennington fight Irene Aldana in her last fight, she was letting her hands go, man. She looked brilliant. I thought she looked way better. I was like, this is a Raquel Pennington we've never seen before, right? So based on that fact, I'm taking Raquel Pennington going into this fight. I like the fact that she went up against a long-rangey fighter who has a lot of movement and a lot of crafty attacks and stuff. I like that she was able to go in against Irene Aldana and pick up a win and really display what she's capable of. Now, that's not saying that Holly Holm can't win, but this is what I think. I think that both fighters are extremely skilled. Both fighters are very tough, and both fighters throughout their career have just had a problem with letting it fly. Let the fucking hands go. Be confident in your training. So if either of these two relapse into that kind of, what do you want to call it, right? I don't know. I don't know. It's been a crutch for them throughout. Not a crutch. I can't think of the fucking word. But it's been a problem through them throughout their careers when they think too much. Whoever is not doing the thinking, whoever is doing the attacking and just flowing and fighting is going to win this fight. Now, if both of these girls decide to do that, now maybe one of them will do it and it'll drag it out of the other one. You might get a really fucking entertaining fight here, because Raquel Pennington is hard to put away. And Holly Holm, like I said, I think her striking is very diverse. You just never see it on display in the fights all the time. So whoever comes out and whoever isn't hesitant and whoever isn't thinking too much, I think picks up the win in this fight. I'm going with Raquel Pennington, though, just based on her last fight and based on the fact that she came out and put volume and offense out, man. She looked great.